Hi everyone, how are you? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, perfect. If we can wait just 5 more minutes, we'll just wait a few more minutes and let everybody join in and then we can start. Second. Okay. Can everybody hear me, see me, and see my screen? Can I have a quick check? Okay, perfect. All right, so before we start, okay, I'd just like to share a poll just to get to know you a little better. And based on that, then I can, further proceed accordingly. So I'll just launch the poll. So how do you best describe yourself? Are you an existing Kaplan student or are you new to Kaplan? What is your ACCA status? Whether you're a member, whether an affiliate, whether you are just doing applied skills or you have just completed applied knowledge. And what are you most interested in tonight's webinar for about? Okay, so we have, interest in MSc and you, okay, right. All right, perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, let's start with our webinars today. Okay, so what we're going to speak about today mainly is the pathways that ACCA provides for getting an academic qualification, and that is a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. We're going to start off first with our OBU program, and then we're going to go on to the MSc. A little bit about myself. My name is Meredith Zakazirli. I work as a finance trainer and a content developer at Kaplan Professional Middle East. So my role involves mainly training in terms of ACCA and training in terms of academic papers such as the OBU and the MSc as well. So I myself, I'm an ACCA member, a CPA member, and I have done the MSc degree myself. So I can tell you firsthand in terms of what is required by the university and what they're looking for when they're assessing candidates. So again, as discussed, the agenda is going to be first about your OBU, and then we're going to look into the MSc. Now, starting off with, again, for those of you who are new to Kaplan, okay, so again, Kaplan is an international, education brand that has been providing education for God knows 80 plus years, and this is, their office in the Middle East, but they're all over the world. And in the UK and in the US, they also provide, let's say, university degrees as well, sponsored by Kaplan, and accredited by Kaplan as well. Mainly in the region, we do a professional qualification, so things like ACCA, CFA, CMA, mainly finance-related professional qualifications. Today, we're going to look at the options provided through ACCA pathways. So most of you would know, and most of you would not. That's fine. ACCA gives you the opportunity to earn 2 degrees along your ACCA journey. So once you have completed applied skills, that means your first 9 papers, you have the opportunity to opt in to do your Oxford Brookes University's bachelor's degree. So this is a bachelor's degree in applied accounting, and you can do it before you complete your ACCA examination. So it's fine if you haven't done your strategic professional papers yet. It's a 6-month short course. So in my opinion, I feel like it's a very good and fast way for you to earn another accreditation and get an academic degree. However, once you have become an ACCA affiliate, that means you have completed all your ACCA papers, you then have the option to go and pursue a master's degree from the University of London. Now, looking at Oxford Brookes University's degree. So again, Oxford Brookes University degree. Now, in the UK, to do a bachelor's degree, you need almost 360 credit hours to complete your 3 years of university. However, passing your first 9 paper allows you and gives you exemption for 330 credits. That means you just need to get 30 credits, and that you do it through a research and analysis project. It's a very unique project, I would say, that can be completed in a period of 6 months. It's not easy, so I'm not going to say that. It is a bit of a challenge, but it's a good challenge. It's a challenge that helps you learn and develop new skills, okay? And that makes you feel like, yeah, you really have earned that degree. Now, to be eligible for the Oxford Brookes University degree, first of all, you need to make sure that you have actually completed your 3 papers, which is your financial reporting, audit, and financial management. For those of you who are new, you would know it by these names, FR, AA, and FM. But if you're an oldie like me, then you would know it as F7, F8, and F9. If you have got an exemption for these papers in the past because of your other maybe university degree, you cannot pursue OBU. So you must have actually written these exams. Number 2, you have to be up to date with your ACCA subscription fee. So you have to be, whether you are a member or a student, you have to be, in a good standing with ACCA. And then lastly, you have to demonstrate your knowledge. That is, you have recently done your ACCA exams, okay? Or you are, still going to do your strategic papers in the coming, let's say, within the next 5 years. So if either of those things are there, easily you can pursue this Oxford Brookes University degree. The main issue that happens for students is the fact that when they start off with ACCA, they get exemptions for the 3 papers, F7, 8, and 9, and then they forget about it. So if you have gotten exemptions for that, that's the only way it makes it difficult for you to pursue this. Now, why would you want to do, the mentoring with Kaplan? So first of all, to do the OBU degree, you need to have a qualified member to guide you through this project. So this is not something that you can self-study. Okay, that is a requirement from Oxford Brookes University. So why do it with Kaplan? Now, again, we understand that as students who are, pursuing ACCA, it is difficult for them to, shift from that ACCA writing to that ACCA professional writing to a more academic writing. So we help you overcome that shift. Okay, we help you in terms of your graduate skills like researching, like referencing, like what do you call this, for example, paraphrasing. All of these graduate skills are very essential, not just for the OBU, but also for the MSc as well. Because how you write ACCA paper is very different to how you write your academic papers. There's a lot of proof that you need to give. There's a lot of credibility that you need to add to your paper. You just cannot make up things and justify it, like how you would do it in an exam, okay? Here you have to really, every idea that you share, okay, you need to reference it and give it credibility, saying that, okay, this idea comes from this person. So if I was to write Porter's 5 forces, I know that in the back of my head, like I know my name, I cannot just simply go and write Porter's 5 forces, okay? I need to give credit to Porter, saying that, okay, these are the 5 forces, and they come from Porter, who actually wrote this paper. So it's a bit of a difference, okay, in terms of the writing. I wouldn't say it is more challenging or less challenging than ACCA. I think they are equally on the same level. However, it's just different, so it takes a bit of a time to develop those skills. So we help you with those skills. We also assist with your Excel and PowerPoint skills because they are essential in your OBU. You have to make sure that, because when you're submitting your OBU project, it's not just the thesis you're writing of 7,500 words, you're also submitting an Excel, okay, which has a lot of calculations, and you're also submitting a presentation. And these skills are again important for you to pass that degree. We also give you what do you call this, one-on-one feedback in terms of your project. Everybody's project is different. Everybody is on a different pace. Some people are struggling in one area and others are struggling in other. So through that one-to-one feedback, it can ensure that you're guided through the right steps. So this is the reason why you should be pursuing OBU with Kaplan. Now, when is the program starting? So the submission is in coming May 2022, okay? And it is essential that you start early. A lot of programs start like a month and a half, or if you're lucky, 2 months before the deadline, and that's not good. Even OBU recommends that you give it at least 3 months, okay? And the more time you have, that's better, because it is not it's not just a simple paper that you're writing. It's a 7,500 word research report that you're writing. It's a 2,000 word reflective writing, so that's a total of 9,500 words that you're writing. In addition to that, you have to make a presentation. You have to do that presentation, and you have to make an Excel with like God knows like 10 sheets. So all of this takes a bit of a time. It needs a lot of research. So a good 3 months is very essential. So we start off in Feb, okay, where we do a session before the examination. So if any of you are pursuing examination in March, okay, the next class will be after. So this is like a brief or orientation session where you learn about what you need to do. You start collecting data, and then after examination, you really start putting in the work. Most of these classes are group classes, in a sense that it's a normal classroom where everybody comes in. We discuss the topic that needs to be done, and the remaining part of the session is one-on-one. It's mainly, the trainer or the mentor sitting with you and discussing what you need to make changes for your project. Now, registration for the OBU, again, the OBU degree is provided by Oxford Brookes University. Kaplan or no other provider, has their name on it. The main idea for us is just to mentor you and to guide you. The fees charged by OBU for the coming session is £445 for the submission, and you pay this fee during the time of submission. So when and if you're ready, okay, your mentor will tell you that, okay, you know what, go ahead and submit the project, and that's the time you pay that fees. Kaplan charges a fee of $3,500. But those of you who are going to who have attended this webinar, who are going to register with us, we're going to add an extra 10% discount on that. These are some of the student testimonials for the last OBU sitting that we had, okay? The results are not out yet. They'll be coming out hopefully towards March, April. But this is what their experience have been like. Again, if you go through this, the main concept and the idea that students really want through their mentoring journey is somebody to be there and to answer their queries, because they have a lot of queries. It is not something they have done while through the ACCA journey. This is something unique. This is something different to them. So somebody just to support them in those queries is something that is very essential throughout this. Now that is it for your bachelor's degree. Now let's move on to the MSc in Professional Accountancy from the University of London. Now, University of London partnered up with ACCA, and they decided to launch this degree many years ago. I remember when the degree was launched first time, I was one of the first students to actually register for this degree as well during the initial sittings. And at that time, we had the criteria that either you could do this degree as a student, but then you would need to do exam. And if you just want to do projects, then you can be able to do it as an affiliate, just for ACCA. But now they have altered the program. They have made it more, they have taken feedback from the student, they have taken comments from the student, and they said that, we want to make it more relevant. So as a result, they have said that for ACCA affiliates, okay, you can register for this master's degree. However, if you are a member of any other qualification, okay, let's say CPA, ICAW, CIMA, ICAP, ICAI, or any other professional qualification, they'll be happy to allow you to set up this degree as well. But it's only for ACCA affiliates that you also get a chance to do this. Now, what are the benefits of pursuing the MSc? Number one, it's a fast track opportunity. You can complete this MSc in a period of 6 months if you have the time and the resources. That is, again, when I say resources, that means, your time. And if you're willing to put in the effort, okay, you have that option available to you. So this is something that is fast, and it's not, a normal piece of paper. It comes from a very reputable institute. University of London is very huge in the UK. Okay, they have a good recognition, and this, degree is academically directed by University College London. That means the structure, the plan is set by University College London. Okay, and they're ranked 8th in the QS World Ranking. So that gives, good credibility to your CV, good credibility to your professional, profile. Again, because of this brand, because of this value, it is something that is recognized by employers. Okay, I remember when I was pursuing my MSc, I got really good offers from a lot of big companies like Bottega Veneta, Marriott. Okay, just on the name of this, I wasn't getting anything before this. Okay, but as soon as I started pursuing my degree, I got a lot of job offers as well. Again, for those of you, a lot of students want to pursue like an academic pathway. They want to do a PhD, they want to do a doctorate. Okay, this is something that is really, really useful and helpful. I know, firsthand, few of my friends who have done PhD, who are doing PhD actually, okay, after doing this MSc. Also, if you are a member and you pursue this MSc, you can claim up to 40 credit points, continuous professional development points, your CPD points, that can be used over a period of 2 years. And you also, the biggest benefit that I feel you get out of it is the network that you get out of it. You get to connect with, students from all over the world, okay? And whenever there's any networking opportunity by University of London, whether it's your graduation in the UK, whether it's, let's say, an event held in UAE, you're invited those two events. And that helps you network with a lot of different, professionals in your field as well. And then lastly, and finally, the economic ability of this degree compared to, a degree that you'll be pursuing in a university in UAE, okay, it's far, far better. And it has better, quality as well. So these are some of the benefits that you get out of doing this MSc. Now, again, why MSc with Kaplan? Okay, so again, in terms of, it's very similar to your OBU that is helping you build those graduate skills. Okay, that is number one, you're being trained by University of London alumni members. So all the trainers that teach on this are the ones who have done the MSc themselves. Okay, so they know what it's like, they've been through the struggle, they know what the professors are looking for, they know how the papers are graded. And most of the trainers have a distinction in their degrees. So that means that you know that you're being taught by somebody who really understands the program. Similarly, you have one-on-one mentoring support, okay, for this as well, in terms of the guidance for your project. Now, in the MSc, it's more about structuring your paper, okay? So you'll be given a problem and you'll be asked to do a solution, okay? And you'll be asked to write like 4,500 words or 5,000 words on a topic. And structuring, okay, that question is very, very challenging. That's like 25% of your grade, okay? In academic writing, it's not just about what you write, it's also about how you write it and how you present that information. So we help you with that structure. We help you nail down that structure, and then you feed in information into that. So that really helps boost up your grades. And then lastly, in terms of the flexibility, we know that a lot of people pursuing MSc are either working or, there's, what do you call this? Looking for a job that they're going to start working soon. As a result, we usually schedule the classes on the weekend, and that too, what do you call this? Or we'll do it in the evening. And we also have the option of live online. So for students, let's say, for example, who have missed a class, you can watch a recording, and then you can coordinate with the trainer. Let's say, for example, if you have any catch-ups to do on your project. Now, how do you pass the MSc degree? Again, so there are 60 credits that need to be completed, okay? There's first the capstone project, which is a mandatory, okay, project. Here you do two things. First is your research proposal. Now, at an academic level, students need to know how to write a research proposal. This is the similar proposal that you submit when you're doing PhD to your supervisor to get an approval. And if they like the proposal and they, approve to support you, you can, further pursue and collect data and complete your, PhD. So this research proposal, okay, you'll be creating on a topic that you want. So let's say I remember in my days, I did a research proposal on the impact of VAT on consumers. Okay, the VAT was new in UAE. It was just launching, so just wanted to understand what will be the impact. You're not going to actually be doing the research, but you need to make a proper proposal as if you're doing it. And then the 70% of your grade is what we call the final project and a business simulation. So University College London has designed this very unique business simulation called the Icarus that allows you to basically act as a CEO, okay, a CFO, let's say a chief operating officer. You also have, let's say, your HR, okay. So in different marketing, so in these different roles, you get to play, okay, and make business decisions. You'll be given a scenario about an airport and the challenges with that airport, the market, the internal and external information, and you need to basically make decisions and submit it. And every week, okay, you do it in a team, and every week you get results in terms of how you have performed. So it's a very good, practice for you to use whatever knowledge that you have in a practical world. And then lastly, you have the final project. The final project basically allows you to, what you need to do is create a business plan. So you'll be asked to create a 5-year business plan for a business of your choice or a business that you want to start, okay? This requires you to have good information, that means internal confidential information about a company. So let's say if you have a business or your family has a business, we can provide you this information, very good. You can do it on an existing business. But let's say, for example, you want to start up your own business, okay? You can actually make a business plan about it. There's a proper business plan where you do your external research, your internal research, you evaluate the market, you evaluate your product, you set prices, you stretch your marketing strategy, your HR strategy, your finance strategy. All of those different elements that you have learned so far, you put it in place. That is 75% of your grade. So this is again mandatory. There are no options to not take this. Then you have 2 elective modules, which you have unseen coursework. So again, you have to basically complete a project at the end, and just 1 project per each. And it can be from any of these 4 modules: global issues in finance and accounting. So these are the issues that happen in finance, that happen in accounting, like mergers and acquisitions, like corporate social responsibility, like tax evasion, things like that. Then you have analyzing risk for decision making. This is again a very good module. This is basically for decision making at a management level. So if you want to pursue, if you're a manager, if you want to take your step up to that manager, this skill is very, very important. That is decision making, okay, after thorough analysis of risk. Then you have issues in investment management, okay. Again, this is more from financial analyst perspective, that how do you manage investments, portfolios. And then lastly, you have capital markets and global perspectives. So this is basically your debt market, equity market, again, very financial analyst focused. So for somebody who wants to work in the field of finance, in the field of accounting, okay, the first 2, global issues and risk analysis, is something that is more relevant. But let's say those who want to pursue analyst roles, who want to go into banking, then investment management and capital perspective are more relevant in that field. However, these 2, you can select any of these 2 modules based on your interest. If I was to recommend, I would recommend the first 2, because comparatively they are a bit easier, okay. So there's a chance of you scoring a higher grade, okay, and grades matter here. It's not like ACCA that you get a 50 and you're done. Grades actually matter here, because at the end of the day, that's presented on your degree. And also, it's the risk of failing. In ACCA, okay, you have the option to fail multiple times, but in the MSc, you only get to fail a module 1 time only. So if you fail that module again, second time, okay, your registration ceases at that moment. So everything you have done so far just comes to an end. So it's better to, pick out these 2 options. Wasn't the structure comprising of 2 projects only? Okay, so previously it wasn't 2 projects, it was 2 modules, okay? The projects you had were total 5. So similar to, what you have right now, actually you have 4 right now. So it's 1 less. Before, you had 3 projects in 1 module and 2 projects in the other. I hope that's okay, Nisha. Okay, how does your registration works. So again, you have a period of 6 months to complete your degree, and you have a period of maximum 5 years. Let's say, for example, you decide to do one module and then you want to take a break and then you want to do it after 1 year or 2 years or 6 months. Whenever you're ready, you have up to 5 years to complete the entire degree. So that gives you a lot of flexibility. Now, what is the fees? So the fees charged by University of London is £4,440. Okay, that is for everything. Okay, again, but you don't pay it all together. You pay it as you do a module. So you pay 2,165 for core module, and then you pay another 2,165 for the second core module. Kaplan charges a fee of £1,500 for, again, both the modules as well. So similarly, you won't be paying this together. You pay it one at a time. Okay, how are the 12 days of mentoring split across the 4 areas? Okay, when we say 12 days of mentoring, again, they are different. Okay, so let's say, for example, the business project does not need a lot of classes because most of the content has been covered in your ACCA. It's just a recap. So we give less, focus on, let's say, the business project. However, the research proposal is something new. No students have not done it. They don't understand the research philosophies. They don't know what a research onion is. So there we might spend a bit more time. Okay, let's say we are spending more time on mergers and acquisitions and maybe less time on CSR. So based on your schedule that the university shares, we split the classes. Now the university shares their schedule, a few weeks before the course starts. And based on that, we prepare a schedule so we can make sure that we are aligned with the university. So we actually get our content covered before the project comes out. Because when the projects come out, you get 1 month to complete the project. Okay, so what we want to make sure is that you complete all the content before the project comes out. So the 1 whole month you spend just writing your project. That's it, researching and writing. But the 12 days are not split equally, over the 4 modules. Okay, they depend on the knowledge that is required in each module. Now, your application for the June assessment for registration is open. So the classes will be starting in April for the MSc. Again, one thing I just want to highlight that the University of London it's not just the University of London. Universities take a lot of time to respond back because that's how they work, every university, okay? They work during set hours, and especially with COVID and working from home, things have gotten a bit, challenging. So I know someone who has registered and it's been 3 weeks and they haven't heard from the university. They've done their application, so they're just waiting for the registration email. So it's important that you complete your application as soon as possible, okay? And then once your application is done, then you can register when you're ready. You have up until 21st March to register. Once your registration is done, hopefully in mid of April is when the classes will start. You'll start preparing in April and your first assessment will likely happen in June's time. Again, the more detailed schedules will come out, end of March, early April. The deadlines or the dates for the October sitting has not been released yet by the university. As and when we have more information, we'll share that with you. We also have students with placement, so students who are on our OPM program, on our MSc program, we provide them with placement opportunities. Okay, as we get requirements or information coming in from businesses or companies looking to hire people. So these are some of the people that have been hired through Kaplan. Okay, so that is it for your MSc and OBU. Do we have more questions? This is your opportunity again to ask whatever doubts that you have to clear it, so then you can make an informed decision. Will Kaplan support if we have to resubmit? Yes, we will support you. Hopefully, if we are not happy with your project, we will actually not let you submit. Okay, if we think that you haven't put in the effort or it's not up to the level, then we'll not let you go ahead with it. However, if there is, God forbid, if there is an issue with the submission, then we'll help you to resubmit. I have not had an experience of students resubmitting. So whenever I've done mentoring for the MSc, students have passed. So I'm not too worried about that. As long as you put in the work, we'll be fine. How do you compare OBU's MBA versus MSc? Okay, so MBA is more generic. Okay, so MBA covers a range of different things. You have a little bit of finance, you have a little bit of marketing, you have a little bit of strategy. So it's a mix of the different things. Okay, whereas MSc is more specific towards finance. Okay, this is the main difference. So if there's somebody who wants to pursue business, entrepreneurship, or who wants to, let's say, for example, keep their options open, I would suggest MBA. But if you know that finance is what you want to do, then MSc, I would suggest that. And currently, I have a bachelor's degree, credit skills level. Okay, so yes, you can do the MSc program, but once you finish your ACCA, so you can opt for it once you have completed your ACCA, because this MSc, the University of London provides, the eligibility for it comes either you are a member of, let's say, Indian CA, if you're coming from India, or you are an ACCA member or an affiliate. So you have to become an affiliate to get into this program. Okay, so we're offering a 10% discount, okay, for students who are registering, who have attended the session today. How do you space the 4 parts of the program? Okay, so the 4-part spacing is not done by us, actually. That spacing comes from the university. So we start off in April, okay, and you have each module running for 10 weeks. Running for about 10 weeks. And there are gaps in between, okay, and you cover your, 40 weeks through those 4 modules. But that spacing is not what we do, that is coming from the university. They share their schedule, and then we just, prepare a schedule based off of that. What will be the topics? Okay, so the wrap topics have been changed. Before, there used to be these very famous topics, but now things have been a little different. And we will basically guide you in selecting the topic that is most suitable to you, because not all topics everyone can do. A lot of topics need internal company information. And if you don't work, if you don't have access to information like that, then we will not let you do that project. Because it's not suitable for you, you will not be able to complete it. There are a lot of topics that can be done on external information. Okay, so if that is your strength, that is your something that you understand better, we'll guide you through that. In terms of guiding and laying out, yes, we'll help you in terms of researching what are the right ways to look for information, where do you find it, and how do you structure your report. Because like I said, academic writing structuring is 20 to 25% of your grade. So setting a proper structure is something that will essentially help you with. Okay, yes. So once you have completed all of your 9 papers, okay, then in the next setting you can join us. As long as you complete it by the June sitting. If you complete it by the June sitting, everything, you'll be fine. Because the next sitting for OBU will be starting in somewhere August. So early August, you can say. The first 9 papers. So your first 9 papers, which is your FA, MA, your BT, then your LW, then your PM, FM, FR, AA, TX, all of those first 9 papers. Applied skills and applied knowledge. Let me just show you. So just to give you a good idea. Okay, yeah. Here, Manasa. So the papers in the green and the blue boxes, that has to be completed. How will the My Kaplan portal support us for the OBU? Again, in terms of the My Kaplan portal, there is some Kaplan exclusive material that's there for OBU. It's a lot of material, okay? Like it's a lot of material. So what we do is that we summarize that and we share that material with you. We add a few things on our own as well. So it's not just, Kaplan material, it was also the trainer material. So the whatever OBU training that they have gone through, whatever, let's say, for example, their own personal experience they have with OBU in terms of training the students, the feedback that they have seen over their past history, that all of that combined, we create exclusive material that can help you with the OBU. However, you do get access to My Kaplan, and there is a lot of material available there as well, but it's a lot of reading. And we don't really give you a lot of technical things to read. We'll explain you the technical concept. The reading we want you to do is related to your project only. Okay, is the OBU degree recognized in the UAE? Yes, it is. I had this question. Somebody asked me that, does the degree get attested? I've shared this link with somebody recently, where it is written on OBU's website that it is recognized by the Ministry of Education. Okay, and even for the MSc, there are a lot of questions, but I got my degree attested, so I have proof of that. I got my degree attested, and my MSc degree is attested as well. How will is OBU live online as well? Yes, so the OBU is live online as well. So for those of you who are, let's say, for example, cannot attend in person, you can attend the live classes. Okay, how can we find mentors for BSc and MSc here in Kingdom of Bahrain? Okay, the MSc, I'm not sure if Bahrain has, University of London has a training center there, because I remember in the Middle East, it's only in this region you have the training centers. As for the BSc, in terms of, I think if you go on to OBU website, there you have a list of members based on their country. So if you want a member face to face, you can find those members and you can contact them, and when they get back to you, you can coordinate with them. However, your mentor does not have to be in the same region as you are. So you can have a mentor in a different region, as long as you can connect with them and get on a call with them. That's fine. Okay, do we have any more questions? Any further questions for tonight? Okay, so these are the details of our program advisors, Dima and Amanda. If you have any questions and doubts, you can get in touch with these people as well. Can you show the testimonial slide? I can really show you that. Just give me 1 second. There you go. Please let me know if you have any further questions about this. Okay, so if you don't have any further question, can we just get a thumbs up? Thank you, Fatma. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. All right, thank you so much everyone for taking the time and attending. Again, if you have any queries about this, if you want to get to know more about the program, feel free to get in touch. I'll just post my email address in the chat as well. Just give me a second. So this is my email address. I put it in the chat if you want to get in touch. And there's our program advisors. I have 2 more papers remaining. Can I start the mentoring from now? Sadia, if you are sure that you will pass in the coming, what is it? March sitting, then I would say okay, but then no. Other than that, no. Because what's going to happen is that the next term for OBU, that's in November, that is going to be a different, guide for the project. So maybe the requirements completely change by that time. So I wouldn't recommend. It's usually the November sitting. I would recommend students to do it because God forbid something happens, you can still submit it in May, the same project. But if something happens and you're not able to submit now, then you need to restart doing the whole thing for November, and that's very risky. So I wouldn't recommend that until you're like very, very sure that you will finish. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and giving your time. I hope this was helpful. I have added I've added the email in the panelists. I'm so sorry. Just give me 1 second. It is to everyone. Okay, yeah. I've added my email in the chat box. Again, if you have any queries, please feel free to get in touch. And hopefully I will see you in the OBU or the MSc classes. Good night, everyone. Have a good evening.